So now all the squares are joined, and I'm going to proceed to the next step, which is to make an edge around the hat. And to do that is quite easy. I'm going to start in this top corner here, but you can start wherever you like really. And what we're going to do is make a series of chains between each picot loop, and I'm going to use 6. I'm not even sure if that's the right amount, because it all depends on the thread size you use, the hook size you use, and your style of crochet. But I'm starting on the bar. I make a single crochet, and now I'm going to crochet 6 chain. And then I make a single crochet in the next picot loop. Now I want the hat to be able to lie flat, and you need to experiment a little bit, because as I said, you need to be able to lay it flat, and it needs to look, you don't want it to look either loose or tight. This is exactly why I'm starting at this particular end, because I'll get a good idea of how it stretches. This seems to be fine. If I thought it was too tight, I would add a chain, or if I thought it was too loose, I'd make a chain less. So I've reached the end. I think it looks a bit tight, so I'm going to start again, and I'm going to make 7 stitches. If you see, the row of chains is tighter than the actual mesh formed by the picots. And the reason why it needs to be precise is because you're going to put a row over these chains. We have 3 there, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're going to have to adapt that to what you're using and your style. I suppose that's the joys of making something without a pattern. Yes, that looks better. if you see, seems to stretch better. So I find that this is lying flatter, and the edge is the same size as the square. So it could be 5, it could be 6, it could be 7, it could be even more. So now we've reached a corner, and I want a straight edge corner. A 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See what this looks like. Yeah, so that'll form a nice corner. So again, it's a bit of experimenting, but I've made 7 chain between the picots, and there's 11 in the corner. So I'll have those corners on the other squares too. And now I'm going to crochet up to here and show you how I join these. So as you can see, that row of chains is squaring the square off, and now between the back of the hat and the side of the hat, I need to connect to this picot, but I found that if I connect it directly, it's too tight. So what I do is a few crochets, a few chains. I'll do 3. And I find that it lies better when you do that. So I've made 3 chains there. As I said, you do need to experiment. So now I'm going to work my way all the way around. Again, 7 chain between each picot, and then 11 on the corners. And then when I come here, I'll show you again. I make 3 chain between these 2. Again, the same as in this corner. So as you can see, that row of chains is neat, making the square look neater. So I've reached this point between the 2 squares at the top. So I've reached this point, so it's the picot on the bar between the 2 adjoining squares, and I need to join it up to the next square at this picot. Now I found, this is from experience, that the amount of stitches, the amount of chains I would use is 3. So again, this is open to your own discretion. and that helps it to lie flat. I think the reason is when you join up the square, it's slightly different to in the square itself. It needs that little bit more space. So I'll carry on and finish this row, and then I'll show you the next row. So I've worked my way around the edge of the hat with the chains. And as you can see, just that chain has given it a more defined edge, and it looks better. So now I'm going to do the next row, and the next row is just plain single crochet over the chain. Again, I'm not going to specify how many single crochet you need to do. You just want the chain to be well covered. And in the corner, what I do is I make single crochet to about halfway along, and on the 6th chain of the 11th chain I put in 3 single crochet, and then I cover the rest of the chain. That is to give it a nice clear edge. I'll be showing you that in a minute. So finishing it off is not difficult. There's no real challenges in terms of difficulty with this hat. So over the chain, I just cover it with single crochet. I think it'll take about 8 or 9 to be well covered. Yeah, so I've done 9 single crochet on the 1/7 chain. But again, do check your own tension, and it also depends on the type of thread you're using. So I'll work my way along until I get to the corner. So I've got to the corner, covered one side with single crochet. I'm going to crochet 6 single crochet, and into the 6th chain I'm going to make 3 single crochet. So into that one chain I'm making 3 single crochet, and now I cover the rest of the chain with 6 more single crochet. And when you look, that's going to form a nice corner. So I'll carry on and finish off this row. and I'll show you the result. So here's the hat completely edged. As you can see, it's much more defined now and it's ready to be assembled. One thing I might be doing is I might be putting netting under the fabric, under the crochet, to keep it in shape. So the way it is now, it keeps its shape pretty good because of the edge. I've pinned it out on my board because I want to measure the side and see how large the hat is. So one square is about 5 inches or 12.5 centimeters. Now this is crocheted in 60 thread with a 0.7 millimeter hook. The one I made previously, we'll measure that one. The one I measured previously was 4 inches and 10 centimeters. This was made in 100 thread and with a 0.4 hook. So as you can see, there is a size difference. This one would fit a baby up to about 3 months. So I presume this one would fit a baby up to about a year old. So to get an idea of the size, if you measure at the top, there's 15 inches, give you an idea of how to decide the size of your squares. So you can change the size of the squares by making less rows or more rows as you need them. So I hope this video helps you along, and in the next video I'll be showing you how to make this edge. As we're in lockdown now, I'll have plenty of spare time because we're supposed to stay at home for 6 weeks now. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and it helps you along on your journey on making Irish crochet lace.